All right, we're back. Episode 8 with FIFO. Got my man Sam Nang here, and this is a podcast we put together. We haven't chatted since high school. Jumped on, you go back to episode 1, hear our whole history, but we haven't really spoke at all, and decided to start recording our conversations.
Yeah,
And working on personal development, raising the collective vibrations of the folks that consume the content, and just trying to put out positivity and finding new ways to share our stories as we reconnect as human beings, helping one another out, and all hoping this content helps you guys out as well too. So thanks for being here.
yeah. Well, that was great, Danny. I always applaud your introductions. He's always like halfway, it's like 50% awake, and then as soon as the show starts, he's just 100% awake. I'm like, damn. He turns it
I
on.
don't know. I'm struggling today. We drove 7 hours yesterday, so I'm struggling. but
I feel you.
and I'm fighting off a cough. So yeah, but I'm here, man.
I feel that same way when I have like hard leg days. So last week leg day fell on on Monday, and it falls again on Friday. So we got to do legs again today. So boy, but my introduction, back to my introduction, FIFO, flow in, flow out, and our mission is to, yeah, elevate the collective vibrations through our thoughts and sharing our knowledge and our wisdom and inspiring each other. I think that's what really inspired me to start the podcast with Danny. I was already on my spiritual journey, and Danny was like, "Let's go!" And we're here. We're good friends, helping each other's business and our personal development journey. To me, that's very meaningful, and it's cool that we could record it on this podcast and share it with our friends. And really, I just want to inspire people as well too. For me, it's like I've always been inspired by other people that help me as well too, and this is part of my why. We always start the show with why we're here, why we're talking, why we're on this podcast, and why we're sharing all our knowledge. And last week we talked about gratitude. I think this week we're gonna talk about finding your life's purpose and meaning in your daily work, right? And the topic is something that's when you get older and you have more consciousness and start to think about things, you want to include this in your life. The less we think about it, the less fulfillment we have. And to me, I think the feeling of emptiness, the feeling of like regret, that's something that we don't want to feel as we get older, as we get more consciousness. So today's topic is just to inspire a little bit more thought into your daily work. And for an example, we're here on this podcast, and for me, anything like I always express about myself, it's like I want to be able to show you that I'm actually doing it myself as well too. This podcast, it means a lot to me because it's like a digital footprint that my kids could watch, as they get older, as they see, like if their dad leaves and stuff, like I left a trail of good woo woo out there. So that's like my why, and finding my purpose in my work and coaching people and inspiring people and lifting weights and bodybuilding. For me, that's like me finding my why, and I want to inspire other people to kind of find their whys as well too.
Yeah, man, no, that's good. Um, for me, it's funny that we actually talked about this subject because literally just this past 2 days I was down in Miami working with one of my clients. He's like a very wealthy individual about to become even more wealthy. Like he's the houses that we were staying at are like baller, you know, houses down in Miami. But we were talking about money, right? And we were talking about what would you do if money wasn't an issue, right? Like if you never had to worry about it again. And so it really was kind of boiling down to whys and why do we do what we do. And for me, like I've realized now, I can speak to this now and then, where I was years ago, but now I've realized my why. Like if I didn't have to still work for money. My passion is like really helping out business owners and helping businesses grow. And the big reason why that matters to me is now that I've grown a business myself, I've grown a small business, there's a lot of value in having employees in the sense of like, I'll never forget one of the kids used to be one of the kids I used to coach in snowboarding. And he was like, "Hey, do you get a web development job?" This is his like first big boy job, and this is the most money he's ever made. It's like impactful money to him
Mm-hmm.
working with me. And I've been able to provide that opportunity. So like being able to provide opportunities for people to work and accelerate in their careers is very exciting. So that part is one of the reasons why I like growing a business, because if you help growing a business, then they can bring on more people. But the other thing that's interesting about the business is also the people that they serve, right? And how they impact other people. So for me, I found like my why really is like I feel like I can make a ripple effect in the world if I help out businesses, especially if I focus on like the ones that are like purely good at heart and like have a good intention and like, it's not just the mongering, like let's just make money businesses,
Yeah, I was
but the
gonna
ones
ask
that
you.
are
I was
actually
gonna ask you. Is there like a certain type of person that clientele that you naturally attract or kind of want to work with? Because it's in business. I learned that early on in business that you can't really please everyone. So you kind of niche and everything. Is there a certain like niche that you look for in people that you work with, partners and other business owners?
100%. With like we'll take on for like web development side. So we have two functions of the business, right? We do web development and lead generation. So web development side, we're a little bit more open to opportunities. Um, and we still vet them to see like if they're going to be a good client. So for us, like a good client on that end is basically somebody that's just willing to learn, that's coachable,
Yeah.
and is able to give us the materials and things that we need. They're engaged enough, so we're not sitting around waiting on them all the time, and they're not like overly, you know, needy. That's our ideal web client. But the lead gen sides, that's a different story. That's my higher ticket sale.
Okay.
And that one, what's really interesting about it is like I have to learn a lot about the business before I'll even take a check. So taking on lead gen, because lead gen it's
More
so
custom, right?
yeah, it's very custom to the business and it has to produce an ROI. So it's basically like someone hiring me on and they want from me the guarantee that I'm going to make them money.
Yeah, yeah.
Like so if I'm charging like we're closing next week on a $90,000 deal for lead gen, and that's sounds like a lot of money, but I'm 99.9% sure that I'm going to be able to make them 4 to 10x that in the span of what we're working on.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's neat.
like
Man.
that's the
See, that's why
you
we're
gotta
podcasting. We're like nerding out by our careers and like spirituality and stuff. And like that's cool to know. Like I didn't know that that's like the back end stuff that I'm always thinking about. And part of I think my assignment, what I was working on was I was reading some blogs of like how to uh, that website that you showed me answered the public's
yeah,
blog, and I was just reading that. I was like researching and everything, and trying to consume how people search on search engines and how they thought. And the thing how you said human centric, I think that's the word, or like that you use. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm a human, so like I meditated a lot on it. Learning about like the hook and the value prop model and everything. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So now it's like now it's being embodied into all like my content and stuff. I'm just thinking about the format and everything. So, which is neat. I think having it around and just bringing up things that I wasn't even thinking about. It's like just helping me already, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's awesome. I think going back to your why, right? Like even like within your why, and going down the spiritual enlightenment journey. It's funny because it's opened up my eyes. So I just picked up a book by Marcus Aurelius, Meditations.
Yeah.
It's all about stoicism.
Are you reading that book? Because it's like it's written in like a different language. I read a translation.
I'm not reading the Greek
The
version
Greek one.
of it, but
Yeah,
I'm
like
reading.
because I read that I was like, am I fucking stupid? I don't understand this. And then I was like, oh, this is like a different language. And then I started reading. I like Ryan Holiday. He's a great writer. If you know him, I think he's like a prolific writer. I think he's got like 5 books out, but it's all about stoicism. And when he reads it, his audible is so it sounds very stoic. It's just very like, and I was like, you could really he kind of like immerses you in the writing. The thing is like Robert Greene as well too. When he writes and
Robert
stuff,
Greene. Okay.
his writing is so immersive that it almost like I don't know. I could really there's some authors that I really love, and that's one of my nerd stuff that I do.
Yeah, I
I
don't
read.
know which. I mean, it's not. Dude, reading isn't nerd stuff anymore. We're in our 30s. Reading's cool.
That's what I'm trying to inspire people that reading is cool.
It
Um,
is, man. I love reading. I love growing a new line, a new train of thought.
yeah. What do you kind of trying to understand more of right now? That's
Here we
something that
go. So it's Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and it is by trying to pull it up.
it's a translation, or is it?
Yeah, it's
What sort
by.
of people they
Oh,
are at
whoa!
their table.
Stop.
You got an Audible.
Yeah, I buy all my stuff on Apple Books, but
Yeah, same, right?
yeah,
Just books.
it's.
Yeah,
Oh, here we go. It's by Robin Campbell, Seneca and Robin Campbell, narrated by Julian Glover.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Stoicism. Yeah, Stoicism is a good philosophy. That's I have 3 main type of philosophies that I study. Buddhism, Zen's one, and then Stoicism, and then since I made the spiritual breakthrough, I've been studying like this thing is called Hermetic philosophy. It's to kind of study
Hmm.
like how the universe works. It's very interesting. I don't think I would have been interested if I haven't made like that spiritual break enlightenment. But the Hermetic philosophy, it's a lot of geometry, rhythm, polarity. You could probably, if you're interested in it, maybe I could just refresh it and talk about it in another episode if that's something that you might be interested
I
in.
would love that, dude. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm kind of like philosophical in my way of thinking,
yeah,
and um, and I'm always looking for new ways to like basically. I'm always looking for new metaphors for my
yeah.
life, right? And
Metaphors.
better ways. At the end of the day, I think a lot of us are we're trying to just understand our life, right, to some degree, and to make sense of the world and make sense of things and to rationalize them. So, like studying philosophy for me, I absolutely love because it like I speak in metaphors very
Yeah,
often, so it just helps me relate. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why this is like I like this quote that I got out of Marcus Aurelius that I love was the only life that you have to lose is the one that you're living, right? Like, and it's like so simple, but it's so true. And then, it's like, man, it inspires me to like want to get up and do more.
yeah. Simple is like I think nowadays it's simple to me is like profound. Like you necessarily don't need all the noise, right? And then just really focus on the things that like matter. That's kind of like, so I was telling you, philosophy has helped me a lot in finding like my purpose and my meaning, because I'm not one, yeah, I'm just like you, like a philosopher uses a lot of metaphors, so that's why I chose the title philosopher, because I was like, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a monk, I'm not a martial artist, I do like to think. And and I use metaphors and how I explain my spiritual path. So I was like, I think a philosopher is a good title. So that's how I came to it. And really, like, I studied a lot. Like, I was like you, where like I read the Bible like five different ways. I watched the documentary. I read scientific research Bible. I read the English Bible. I read the King James version. I watched the documentary trying to get answers and stuff. And then my conclusion I came after like making enlightenment is like all religion, all spirituality should be teaching like purpose and meaning and being a good person, right? And that's kind of like my message is like, look, we're trying to inspire just to think a little bit different and be more conscious and be more aware. So I think having all that, I think that ties into like my purpose and everything I'm trying to explain and everything too. But so the three type of philosophies that I use is Buddhism. Buddhism is very Eastern, where it's more like feel with your heart, detachment. That's a very hard concept in the West for people to get. But then I have to cover the East kind of side, since I'm here in the East Coast, and it's hustle, hustle, hustle. We got responsibilities. I can't go and meditate under a tree all day, but so I have to like get shit done, make money and stuff. So that my to balance that side, I use Stoicism, like Marcus Aurelius, like courage, discipline, temperance. And then since I made that spiritual breakthrough, I started studying Hermetic philosophy. Hermetic philosophy is, let me see if I could remember it. It has law of gender, law of mentalism, law of vibrations, law of polarity. There's a couple more laws that I'm still kind of studying and kind of like implementing. So when I meditate, I get into like altered state of consciousness. Like I really just like concentrate everything into my brain, so I could get kind of like an out of body experience. And Hermetic philosophy is what uses like I use to kind of guide when I'm meditating. When you see people that have like mandalas and those what is it, the kaleidoscopes and stuff, that's to
Yeah.
kind of represent shapes that you see when you're meditating and stuff. It's pretty neat. Um, People do like ayahuasca, and I know how to do it with just like strong breathing techniques and like just concentrating and stuff. So, but I just been practicing it. So that's kind of like part of my coaching, is that like you could do this without having to take like plant medicine. Of course, it takes a little bit of time to figure it out, but that really to me like gets you like when you release this, it makes you more of who you are. You know,
Mm.
um, you know who Rene Descartes is?
The name
Philosopher.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
French philosopher. He studied the pineal gland, and the pineal gland is what he calls the gateway to the soul. So when you release this,
Oh yeah, I have heard about this. Yeah.
yeah, so that's basically what you're doing. Like I know how to like release the pineal gland, and then when I'm meditating and concentrating, I'm just focused in that area, and then I use Hermetic philosophy just to kind of put my thoughts together about it. So it's interesting, huh?
No, it's very cool. So I think it leads me to a question, which is, part I feel like now that you are in this kind of more enlightened state and you are practicing multiple different philosophies and meditating and all these other things. I could totally see how that would help you continue to refine your purpose and meaning in the work that you do, and also, continue. Like, I'm sure it also helps you, maintain it. So, but it's not always that way, right? Like, and I think that, for folks out there that may feel a little lost in what they're doing and may feel a little lost in where they're at, but feel like, I know for myself, if I think back before, like, I started to really gain where I was headed, like, even before snowboarding, um, I knew I had this feeling that I was destined for something more than what I was currently living, right?
Mhm.
And I had no idea what that was. And I had no idea what my purpose was, right? And snowboarding I gravitated towards, and naturally at that time, it was, I wanted to be a better snowboarder. I wanted to be pro.
Yeah,
Like, my purpose was very surface level and materialistic in a way, because it was just self fame, pro, sponsored.
yeah,
Like, that was my dream out of the gates. And then I found coaching. And when I found coaching, I realized I had a bigger mission, which was not self driven. It was like, okay, I don't necessarily need to be pro and like do the videos. Like, yeah, it'd be cool, but I really enjoy coaching these kids. So my purpose then became make these kids the best that it could be.
yeah,
Um, and actually, my first snowboarding company was called Influencing the Next Generation. And the idea was that it was this holistic view of snowboarding and how snowboarding could apply to everyday life within children,
yeah,
or, young adults. And that was the kind of cornerstone for why I started ING. And then, I needed to make money, right?
yeah,
And like, I needed to use my mind to make money. And that's when I retired from the snowboarding community and I switched careers into digital marketing and just tried to figure it out from there. And then it was really hard. I was kind of back in that position again, right? Where it was like, well, what is my purpose? What's the meaning behind all this? And again, it was make a dollar, make money.
yeah,
It started with that. And then as I started to make more money, then it was like I kept kind of gravitating back towards this helping businesses thing, until finally I'm at the point now where I don't have to stress money as much. I mean, I still do. Like, I still have to make payroll and shit, which is stressful. So now I'm like stressing to make money for other people,
yeah,
right? And I still, I'm not where I want to be financially in my financial goals for our family, but um, it's less money driven now. It's much more,
service.
can I help this business or not?
Yeah, it's like
And if I
service.
can, yeah, I'll work with them. So I don't know. It's interesting. Like, if I think about my like purpose journey, um, and like kind of where I was at, because I definitely, there's many moments I just didn't know, and I would say like the trick for me was to just start on the path that I thought I wanted to go down,
Yeah,
and
intuition. I think that's good, man. I think
then go
there,
from there. But
there
what
there's a
about
big thing
what?
to say about intuition, and if you actually listen to it and stuff, and big purpose of like self-actualizing and personal development is you have a nature to enjoy certain things that you're natural at, the things that you're good at and stuff. Robert Greene talks about this in Mastery. He says you have this tendency to be naturally gifted at something, but and then as you grow up, people start to say, why are you doing that? It doesn't make any money. Like there's no money in snowboarding or skateboarding. There's no money in bodybuilding and stuff. So most people would stop and give up that kind of stuff, right? But me and you are like, fuck it, I like it. I would do it for free, and I am doing it for free, right? I'm not a professional bodybuilder or anything, but I have built my brands around it, right? So people are like, oh, they know Sam Nang, he's a bodybuilder, he's into fitness and eating healthy and motivation and inspiration, right? So it's now to me, I've become my work. Like I'm embodying it as well too. So like I don't have to turn on or off. I actually had to like turn off, like to take a break and like step outside of like my apartment and stuff because I'm so absorbed into like my work and everything. But uh, I don't have to turn on or off or anything, right? It's just it's me. So when people say it's like how do you have energy? It's like no, I'm just being me. And when I'm being me, I have more energy of being myself, and that keeps me in a higher vibrational state. So that makes me more energetic, more excited to come to work. You know, like waking up super early and writing notes and reviewing notes and jumping on a podcast. That's different. That's like when you have spiritual energy and purpose and meaning behind what you do every day at work and stuff. You're gonna want to get up. That's kind of like my message is like think about
Yeah.
it. You got to think about it. The stuff that you don't think that's making money, like you skateboarding and you just kind of enjoying your life, that little piece of me at the gym for 2 hours a day, I know I could control it, right? And that expands into your daily work, your daily habit. It goes into like your friend at work and how you look at that. So it's very, it's, life's purpose to me, I think it's all the same thing. And I think one thing I do want to talk about is like when you're incorporated into business and everything, people think that money, it's like when you start going in business, start making money, you get these old ideas that money is like evil and people that have money, it's evil and stuff. But I was struggling with it and I was like, no, if I have money, I'm just gonna be more of me. I'm gonna do more charitable work, service work, and everything. Provide more content, more marketing. I don't know. That's to me. That's it. Isn't about money. I'm comfortable. I'm definitely like you. I'm not where I want to be, where I can be. So that's why I keep pushing. But and plus, I'm never comfortable. It for me. It's like my message is don't stay comfortable. So if I said here I'm like comfortable with the money and everything, I wouldn't be building this business. I'm not comfortable. So that's incorporating everything into my life's work. You know.
Well, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, like with like the because I see it all the time. Like there are some folks out there, like I see, like these people will troll, like they troll Elon Musk for being a billionaire. They troll Bezos for being a billionaire. And like, and when I say troll, they're just posting about how evil they are because they have money. Um, like and often these people, like it's very interesting to me that when I see that post, like when I see people hating on billionaires, um, they pass so many judgments, right?
Yeah.
Like that of people that they've never met, and quite frankly, I would be willing to bet that most people that do actively hate billionaires because they have a lot of money and they feel they shouldn't have that much money and that their wealth should be better distributed. I probably never met a billionaire, and like I've met a handful of billionaires in my life, and like I have a handful that are like sold their businesses for north of $1 billion and are willing to take a phone call with me, and they're actually some of the most
Yeah.
humble, nicest people out there, right? And not just that they're humble and nice, but they're also frugal with their money. And they're not like just spending. Like it's not like they live this like rap god life and hookers and boats and cocaine and
Cocaine.
I
Yeah.
don't, I don't know what they think these people are when I see people hate on billionaires, right? And it is like it kind of comes back down to that like almost like religious core belief that money is evil and inherently evil. But here's the interesting thing, right? Like let's say let's say that you wanted to impact a lot of people. Like
Mhm.
you wanted to help the job community, the entry level job community in a given area. You felt like the area needed a better work environment, a better job community. One way that you could do that, right, is obviously you'd have to create work. If the community needed more jobs, you could come in and you could find work for
Mm-hmm.
people to make jobs and employ people, right? And in the process of doing that, the business has to make money. I needed. I'll have to do this example. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I was gonna pull out like 10 G's or something like that and hold it, right? And be like, this means nothing when I hold it. Like having money means nothing. It's the transaction. If I were to give you
Yeah.
that, the act of me giving it to you is where the power is.
Yeah.
But once I give it to you, if you just held it and never did anything, like you didn't give it to anybody else, it's it's paper. It's
Yeah.
meaningless. But it's the act of giving. So what you're giving people is they're notes of your time. And the people that have become billionaires have impacted so many people, so many people, right? And they
Yeah.
figured out how they could scale their time beyond themselves. So when you're doing a linear transaction, which is say I'm hiring you for an hour, I'm going to pay you $100, $200 for an hour. Here you go. You give me your hour, I give you your money. It's linear. But you create an ebook and you sell it for $10, but you sell it to 1,000 people. Well, that ebook is now $10,000, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's scaling your time. But then if you think about the amount of time that those people invested, so now you have 1,000 people reading your ebook. They spent 4 hours reading the book. They took not only they you gave 4 hours of your time to all of those people for very low cost, right? That's why these things at scale, like if you think about what Amazon does, like everyone wants to hate on Bezos, but if you think about what they did at Amazon, I mean, they also want to hate on Amazon and everything else, but they probably use Amazon. If they're not using Amazon directly, they're heavily
Yeah.
impacted by Amazon.
Amazon's like everything. It's like a it's a back and forth thing. Like big pharmacy, big food and everything. Like I'm in the fitness industry as well too. It's like I can't hate on something that helped build a system. I think when I was watching documentaries on like the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, I could have been like, they're fucking wrong, blah blah blah. But I did. I tried to understand it, and then I tried to learn a different side of like health and nutrition, so I could at least speak from both sides. That I've seen both sides, where I actually, you know, done my research and everything. But actually, to get back, I like your conversation. You were talking about some of the like the big wigs, and I was thinking about the story of like Mark Zuckerberg. We were talking about like business strategies and everything, and I was kind of pay attention to Facebook because Facebook came out when I was in college, so that was kind of like the new thing, and that's when I started learning like social media and started creating communities and everything. And I realized like people hate on him as well too, but he's been giving this service for like free forever. It's like, and we use this almost more than our emails every day, right? And people hate on somebody. It's like, there's no like gratitude there that like this guy built this community that you could almost do like everything on there, like advertise, you could build a business, you could do high school reunions, you could create communities, you could create live videos, you could create like this tool that's out there. But we have this ungratitude. And yes, he's got a lot of money and stuff, and I think like the reason why he got up there is because he was a service, right? I think you brought this up, like, talking about the people that you want to work with is like now you just want to be a service. They get to a point where like money's money, and really it is just for me, money is fuel. It just gets me there faster. So the faster I work, the more money I
Mm-hmm.
get, the faster I can get my message out there to you guys. So that's why I'm hustling, So that's how I look at money. It's money. I'm not so attached to it. I was attached to it, but I did a lot of meditation. I was like, all right, just fucking money. But like having the sense of like gratitude for like people and mentors, like mentors is a big thing in these days now. I think people forget about it as well too. It's like mentors, like I read about Warren Buffett, Zuckerberg, I read about Bezos, Sam Walton. These people have different viewpoints. It's like people get so caught up in like the politics in it, but instead of like the actual like message, I think the Americans have great capitalism. They're probably the best in business. So it's like I read a lot of business books from Americans. I read a lot of like health stuff from Eastern side. So I just keep it kind of balanced and everything. But that's how I flow it into work and then like my teachings and stuff too. So um, yeah, man, good
Yeah, I
conversations.
mean, I think like when you start talking about when you look at the bigs, right? And if you were to sit them down and ask them what's their purpose, what's their meaning, I think you would be surprised to see how quickly they would respond. Like they probably they when you start to hit a level of success, like even my client that I just had down in Miami, she asked him what his purpose and what his meaning is. Like he's immediately got a book to pull out. And be like he read it's a book called The Answer. It's a great book. I read it. Um, and he is his ultimate goal. So he's in stocks, right? Like he's in stocks. He's been in crypto, um, and he is driven to fund his foundation, which is helping out dogs primarily. Like he wants to make a huge impact on helping out dogs. So if he raises this capital for himself, he can deploy more of it through his charity. Um, and right now he doesn't even have anybody written into his will. So it's like like it's interesting if you like hear his story, and how he moves forward with his purpose and why he does what he does and gets up and does what he does, right?
Yeah, maybe we can have him
Um,
on the guest as a guest, right?
yeah, he would do it, man, for sure. He's
Yeah.
to give you an idea, he had David Goggins as a guest.
Oh man, sweet. I would. Oh
So
man,
we're
I love
but he
David
would do it,
Goggins.
man. He's a cool dude, and like he's definitely into philosophy. He's definitely into like this kind of content. He follows me on social and stuff, but he's a good dude, and you know the other thing that he loves is like he's learned this skill on how to make money in crypto and stocks.
Yeah,
And his thing is he likes giving that back. He likes giving that knowledge back to people and to educate people
yeah.
on how the markets work, right? So like again, I don't know. There's
It's a natural process, like how you're describing it. As you get older, you get wiser, more like experience you have. You just want to, if you're really conscious and starting to think about it, is like you want to give back some way, whether it's like your kids, your students, your clients, your athletes that you coach, and anything. It's to me, it's a natural process, and part of like me life coaching and teaching this stuff. It's just saying, hey, let's follow the natural process instead of actually like fighting it, right? We fight so much of it because we only see what we see and we only feel like if we were always in this physical, like, we get stuck in patterns and things that we do just because it's easy and stuff. And like for me, like with coaching, and I express it to people, it's like change is very hard, right? But change or not changing, it's also harder. It's harder. It might seem hard or it might seem easy, and might seem like the better choice, but choosing the hard now is easier because
yeah,
you're mentally prepared, you're physically prepared and stuff. And I think sometimes we get caught off guard, when shit hits the fan, and shit's gonna hit the fan eventually if you're old enough.
yeah. It's always changing, man. Like, and that's just the thing. Like, the world's always changing around you. So those that don't want to change and just hold on to exactly what they have, they're going to change. It's just it is what it is. So you're either going to be forced it or you can be proactive on it
Yeah,
and guide it. And I think that there's something too when it comes to like finding your purpose and meaning in your work. For me, Honestly, it started as, can I make a dollar? Because I needed to make a dollar. Like I needed that. My purpose was, I need money so I can pay my bills and not get evicted from my house.
Yeah.
That's what it started as.
Survival mode.
And then it grows, right? And then like you will start working with more people and you get more involved in your work. And like I think most people inherently want to do well, right? And they're not just money driven companies. And it ends up becoming purpose driven, right? So for those of you out there that are trying to find your purpose or meaning in your work and you're thinking about entrepreneurship, go start just by selling something
Yeah.
and make a dollar and solve that niche or that itch of what you need, and the purpose will come. Like you don't necessarily have to have your purpose fully thought out and planned out of the gates,
Yeah.
right? Like at least I know, like I didn't, and it evolved. Like I, who would have thought? Like I would have never thought that I would have ended up in digital marketing. I never would have never thought I would have ended up in Florida, right? Like I never had this on my roadmap, but it happened.
Yeah.
And I've had a pretty good life so far. So, I think to me, it's always just about the getting started and going back to the change conversation, like you just said. Like that's part of that change is just the catalyst, the start. And whether it's in business or in personal development or in health or any of it, the trick is just to start.
Yeah. I think it's like learning the biggest hurdle for a lot of people. Like I understand, like when I coach people, is like they have a message, they have something that they want to share, but learning how to like make money around it. One of the next live coaching call that I have is called Ikage. It's a Japanese term. You've heard of it, right?
Mm-mm.
You never heard of it? Um, there's like an intersection where it's like a Venn diagram, and then at the intersection, that's where you find the true purpose and meaning. I'll leave it for a cliffhanger so you guys can join the community and everything. But it's
Yeah,
like,
check it out.
yeah, it's called Ikage. Jay Shetty, life coach, teaches it, but I understood this concept a while back. I like Eastern concepts and stuff too, so and I like that. I like to share where I could blend both the Eastern and Western into like some of my coaching calls as well too. So that's the next live coaching call. And to me, like the live coaching calls and the content I put out, the feedback is really when I coach people and stuff. So I'm asking, right, and I'm listening. I spend a lot of time when I meditate and stuff is to kind of listen more, right? Right. We have two ears and then one mouth. I think we talk more than we should listen. So I'm trying to be more aware that we have to listen more. The more you listen, the more feedback you get from your clients, your customers, and everything. And then when I present the content and stuff, it's something that I thought about after I had a coaching call and everything. So when I write stuff on like uh, my Instagram and stuff that I say, it really is just stuff that's just because I was meditating or thinking, and I just spit it out. And like I think people need to hear this, and then that's why I think people resonate with my message because I'm thinking about it, and then I just spit it out at that moment and everything. So the process is very, for me, it's like very quick. But yeah, that's my plug. So Danny, I'm gonna
Nice,
plug
man.
Peak Performance Academy every show.
Hey, that's what do it, man. You guys should join up and sync up if you haven't done it. And I'm a part of the community. I need to be more active on that community. We've
Yeah.
been slammed recently, so but I need to get more involved in it.
No,
Um,
it's just getting up and running. I'm just right now I'm getting community members and everything, and I'm facilitating things. So as it comes up and everything, I'm still getting practice as well too. So it's not like a deadline or anything. I might have like I'm always thinking like fun ideas and stuff. I might have like an open house or something virtually.
nice.
But I've been like my marketing campaign is basic guerrilla marketing. Is just doing anything to get anybody's attention on the internet. I've been doing Instagram Live, Facebook Live. I even went on LinkedIn. What else? I created a TikTok. I was like, dang, Danny's gonna be proud of me.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. This is
Yeah.
my boy Jude, by the way. This is
Yeah.
my Don.
What's that,
He
Jude?
just woke up.
He's gonna be on a podcast. He's gonna be
He's
part
on
of
the
the show.
podcast.
Yeah. I get my daughters in there on
So
my Instagram stories as well too, man. It's cool.
yeah, but oh yeah, man. Well, look, let's wrap up
Yeah.
because I'm gonna have to start dadding here before my work day. But yeah, I think to wrap up on the challenge, I'm still struggling to get started. It's funny. I just tell everybody like get started, and like I'm still struggling to get it started. So I'm still struggling to get like my like time in for working out. So
Right.
I'm going to keep effort, concerted effort on it. I have noticed with the chiropractor,
Yeah.
like I think my posture is starting to get a little bit better. My back's getting a little less sore. Um, so I'm feeling like structurally, like I think I'm going to be in a better position to start to lift. Um,
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I mean,
but
it's awareness. You even bringing your wife and your family into it. That's the big thing. They know that you got a accountability coach now, and you're on a podcast. So people, I mean, people are gonna see.
hey,
They're gonna the gym's gonna be honest, right? If you don't have any biceps, the gym's gonna know, or the people gonna know. So
yeah, it's yep, the old pipe cleaners. So and it
that's the
helps this
fairest
guy.
thing, man. Like I always tell people, is like the gym is fair. The world could be fucking crashing down and anything, but the gym is gym. If you go to the gym and you crush it, you win, right? And if you
Yep,
don't get that progress, you don't win. It's fair. So that's part of like training and like working out and stuff. You know that it's fair. You didn't get the energy. You didn't go to the. You didn't. You didn't get the workouts in. Now you got to fess up and tell everybody in the podcast that you didn't go to the gym.
that's it. That's it.
So that guilt's gonna eat you. Just don't let it eat you. Don't let it kill you. Just don't let it kill you.
No, I'm not gonna let it kill me. It's gonna happen, and there's gonna be a week where I hop on here and I'm like, I did it all week, and like then
Yeah,
there'll be a month where I'm like, I've done it for a month. Like I know it's doable, and I want to do it. So,
yeah. Just carry
my
some momentum.
excuses are running out.
It's like a train. When you first start, it's like slow, and then when you get in a good flow and a good groove and stuff, it's like you can't be stopped. You won't be.
Yep,
You'll be in that David
yep,
Goggins mode soon.
that's it, man. Makes
Training
sense.
6 days a week. Well, I gave you an update
Yeah,
on my progress and everything. I'm still doing a lot of research and just kind of putting videos out um, and funneling people into the community and coaching people throughout the day. And uh, I think that's it for me. I'm okay. Um, I have struggles on a few
you,
things, but it's more like pricing strategies and stuff with the community. Not necessary. We need to talk about that pricing strategy. We keep VIP. So yeah,
yeah.
we can't talk about that on the podcast.
No, it makes sense. We can. I'm happy to chat with you about pricing though outside of this too, if you want to have that conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but no, I
But
think that's it. And let the audience know we're starting to take some guests. We're on episode 8. I think we're gonna do another episode with us. And also too, if you guys have any topics on feedback on topics or anything that you would like us to discuss as well too. Um, anything you guys think might be interested that we, even outside of digital marketing and just personal development or coaching. Uh, and then episode 10, I think, is where we're going to try to bring on our first guest. We're in the works of doing that. And then if anybody else is interested in being a part of the community and also being a part of the podcast, too, just message any one of us, Instagram. You know where to find us. We're all over the internet.
yeah, at this point, they're finding this podcast. They're finding it through our socials. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
no, we're excited to bring on our first round of guests and see how it goes. So, um, have a good week, man. Have a good weekend, and we'll be back on it on Monday. And gonna have a better report for you come Monday.
I hope
Because
so.
it's funny, my wife has your name in her mouth now because she's like, she calls you Sam. And she's like, Danny, you didn't do your workout. You're gonna have to tell Sam. You're gonna have to tell Sam that you didn't work out. I'm like,
Tell
I
her to call
know,
me head
honey.
coach. Head coach. That's what, did the head coach tell you? I like that title. I was
That's
like, oh,
it.
that's head coach.
That's it. I'll tell her head coach, my head coach. So,
All right,
well,
man.
cool, man. Well, have a good Friday and a good weekend, and we will sync up on Monday. And for everybody else, this is FIFO, flow in, flow out, about raising the collective vibrations. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We release these episodes every Monday at 6 a.m. and Friday at 4 p.m. So be on the lookout for that schedule. You can find us samnangman.com. You can find me over at exitbuilt.com. Yeah, happy that you guys are on here and consuming. So thank you guys
You got
and
throw
have
gang
a
signs.
great rest of
You
your
got throw
weekend.
gang signs. Oh, look.
That's really it.
Yeah, that's it right there. All right.
There
All
it
right,
is.
guys. This is a great
All right.
episode. Thank you guys for joining us, and we appreciate the continued support and everything. Be in touch.
Yep.
Talk to you guys soon.
See you guys. Bye.
All right, Danny. What's his name?
Jude.
Jude. All right, Jude. It's good to meet you.
He
I'm
says
head
it's good to
coach.
meet you.
Head
Good
coach,
to meet
okay?
you.
That's his head coach. All right, bro.
Head coach. All right, buddy.
Chat soon.
Talk to you.